Hi everyone. Today I'm going to be doing everything indoors. I'm not going to be outside. The weather is really terrible. It's quite windy. So I decided that I would just take the intro here in my recording booth. It's a small booth at my work. But anyways, what I'm going to be showing you today is side bending. How I go about bending the sides for the ukulele, and it's actually the exact same method as side bending a guitar. It really no difference. This is how I actually go about doing it. It's important to note that there are a few things which I do in the video which I do not recommend. One of them is wear gloves, because the heating iron gets extremely hot and you can burn yourself badly. Another important thing is that the pipe I'm heating up to do side bending, the pipe I used is a zinc. It's like an alu zinc or something like that on the pipe to prevent it from rusting. You should actually use steel pipes if you're going, or buy a proper bending iron. But I like using these pipes. It's just something I've become used to, and I like using smaller diameter pipes than a large one when bending. But you know, that's just how I've always done it. But the fumes which come from the pipe can be dangerous, and it's not recommended that you be in that environment for a long time. And if you cannot get a different type of pipe, then of course wear a mask and always wear gloves. And I might even think, I think actually that you should be wearing protective glasses also, to, you know, because of course the fumes they'll basically go everywhere. So do what you can to get a proper pipe for bending, something other than using galvanized. Yes, it's called galvanized steel, yeah. The galvanized fumes, they are dangerous. So anyways, that's what I'm going to show you, and it's going to be different today because I'm actually going to do it without speeding it up. I'm going to do this in real time because I think it's important that you see the full process. I do, however, have a full course on how to make a ukulele on Udemy. So I recommend that you go to Udemy if you want to take the full course on how to make a ukulele. But here I'm only showing you tips and tricks, and I will be showing you more from my workshop soon. So remember, twice a week I will be posting videos like these. So I'm not sure where, but press the subscribe button and you'll get more information as they come. Now I want to start bending the sides. What I've done here is I laid down the sides next to this the inside of the jig, because you have to note that here these sides are book matched, meaning that they're the exact mirror of the other side. So I want to make sure that the two sides actually match together when I start bending, because what you don't want to end up with are two left sides or two right sides. So there, I'm marking it there because this is where I will lay it against the iron to make the first bend, the center bend. And what I do then afterwards is I lay this in water for at least 30 minutes. Here I'm just going to show you a pipe,
and this is an aluminium pipe which is quite commonly used to bend sides, but the problem with this aluminium pipe is that this is way too big for creating a ukulele. It's a great pipe for creating a guitar, but now we are creating a ukulele. There I have a different type of pipe. This is just a regular pipe which I bought from the hardware store, but there's a problem with this pipe. The problem is that this is a galvanized pipe, and galvanized pipes they will produce toxins that will go in the air when you heat the pipe. So if you want to use a pipe like this one, and I'm actually going to use this one, you can see there we have a T and we have two types that are just screwed together, and there you see them, see this already, and I've put a piece of wood there to support the heat gun, and I'm going to blow at the highest setting on my heat gun, heat into the pipe, and what happens is the fumes will come up, so you need to have a mask. There I have the jig. This is just, it's important to have the jig, this part of the jig, both to measure so that you'll be bending according to the shape of the ukulele, and also I use the jig when bending. But remember to use a mask, and I recommend that if you haven't done this before, wear gloves, because if you touch the pipe it's burning hot. And what I do is I wait until the iron is extremely hot, so don't be touching it like I was touching it over there, but it's not turned on yet. You want it so hot that when you spray from a can like this one, you can see that the water evaporates almost instantly. So then I'm just doing a test, I'm spraying, and you can see that the water actually evaporates instantly. So now this is ready. I'm ready to start bending the wood. The wood has been soaking in water for about 30 minutes. I recommend that you have it soaking for maybe 24 hours. That would be a great, wouldn't be, you know, at least half an hour, at least. Then I'm just looking at the wood and trying to see where I marked the lines to make sure that I'll be bending it so that I don't end up with two versions, or two left sides or two right sides. I'm actually spraying it now because it's become almost dry, and checking if the iron is hot enough, and then I'll be pressing it against it, and when you press it against it you kind of feel when it starts when the wood starts to give, and you don't want to hold the wood on the iron for a long period of time, because if the wood starts burning, then you have to scrape off the wood what burned, because it won't bend in that position. Another thing I'm doing there is that when I bend the wood against the iron, I'm holding it in place until it cools down. You can see there, I'm going to press it against the pipe again, pressing it, and then I'm taking it back and holding it in this position and letting it cool while I'm holding it. Otherwise it will just go back into the original position. Now I can start moving it across to make the rest of the shape, and there I'm just kind of moving from one place to another and applying even pressure, but don't apply too much pressure. You do feel when it starts to give, and if you're doing this for the first time, I recommend, even though I didn't use gloves. Now I'm just speeding up the video a bit, but I want you to see the whole process of doing this side. So actually I'm just pressing it against there and checking it against the jig to see, and holding it in place before I continue bending. I'll do something different than many people do. I will actually later place this in the jig and use the jig while bending. Remember, always keeping this wood damp. And I'm bending a little bit more than I need to bend because it will always give a little bit. And this can take some practice to get this going so that you'll be happy with it. Just take your time, do not rush this. Holding it in place, and then again giving some pressure there, checking it against this. And now what I'm doing is that finally I've been able to put this in the jig. So I'm holding the jig and I'm pressing the wood into the jig, and you do feel it starts to give, and I'm able to shape the wood into the jig, and there I'm able to get the perfect shape of the ukulele by using this method. And you can see I'm having to hold this in place for a while, because you always want to overdo it a little bit. Again, heating it up, using the jig to get the perfect shape. And I find this to be extremely important. Holding it, letting it cool. Then when I've held it for about 5 minutes or so or less, what I do here is that I clamp it in place, and it needs to be clamped like this for, I have it clamped like this for at least 24 hours. I want it to keep this shape. When I remove the clamps, I want it to have this shape when it's cooled. And 24 hours is perfect for that. And that's it.